Good morning, boys and girls. Happy Monday. So, last week we learned about frogs and toads. And frogs and toads live near fresh water, and often they live near ponds. So, this week I want to look at ponds and what other animals live in and near ponds. Okay, so this book is called Freshwater Pond Biome. So, biome is basically another word for habitat, and a habitat is an animal's home. So, this is a pond habitat where some animals make their home. So, this book is written by Shirley Duke, and again, it's a nonfiction. It teaches us facts. You can see this is a real picture of a real swan and her babies in a pond. Still and small. What makes a freshwater pond? A pond forms when a shallow hole fills with rain or running water. Freshwater ponds have a small freshwater source, that's where the water comes from, birds, insects, and fish, algae, and a season like the area where they are found. Beavers are one of a few animals that can change the land where they live. They dam creeks to make ponds. And what that means, boys and girls, is beavers build dams. And how they do that is they pile up sticks and logs and wood. They chew branches, and they'll actually cut down small trees to make a dam. And the dam creates a small pond of water coming off of a creek or a stream. So ponds are not as deep or large, are not deep or large as lakes. The small size of pond limits the life found there. So that means not a lot of animals can live there because it's small. It's not big enough for a lot of animals to live. Seasons of change. In spring, flowers pop open, eggs hatch, and it's a time of life in the pond. Tiny bugs move about. Birds return to nest, and frogs call at night. And we learned that last week when we learned about frogs and toads and all the sounds that they make. In summer, bugs fly around the pond. Fish grow and swim. Turtles sun on rocks. Plants grow bright in the sun. Plants grow in the bright sun. Algae often covers the pond. So this green stuff that grows on top of the water is called algae. And it is a living thing, but it just covers the surface of the water. In the fall, cool air comes, berries ripen, and birds fly south. And we learned before that when animals move from one place to another to go to a warmer place, that's called migration. So these geese are migrating to a warmer place in the south. Turtles and frogs bury themselves in pond mud and sleep through the cold winter. And we've learned before that any animal that sleeps through the cold winter are hibernators. They are hibernating. Winter brings more change. The water is cold or even frozen. Animals hide in dens to stay warm. Water plants and more. Tall, thin cattails and reeds rise above the shallow water. Bugs climb them, and ducks and snails eat them. So these boys and girls with the brown fuzzy tops, they're called cattails. Around ponds, grasses and flowers grow in the damp soil. Some plants grow underwater. Some plants float on top of water. Plants also grow up from the water. And these boys and girls are the lily pads. Remember last week we made lily pads to put our frogs on? Well, these are lily pads, and the flowers that grow from the lily pads are called water lilies. Algae and other plants too small to see grow in ponds too. So look at this algae that's growing on top of the water and it's covering the turtles. Crayfish move in the mud at the bottom of the pond. So some ponds have crayfish in them. Dead plant matter sinks to the bottom. It decays, adding to the muddy bottom. So when the plants die, they just sink to the bottom and they decay. That means they rot and they go right back into the bottom of the pond, becoming part of the mud. Life at the pond. Look, here's a turtle, and there's lots of fish. Fish and snails eat the tiny plants and insects. Frogs, turtles, and snakes call ponds home. Birds drop by for a snack. Ducks swim and dive. Animals stop to drink. Raccoons catch and eat the small animals living at the pond. They mostly hunt at night. But if you do see a raccoon out during the day, it's usually because it's a mother and she doesn't like to leave her babies alone at night. So she'll go out in the day and get food for them. The future of freshwater ponds. People litter and harm ponds. People can hurt ponds with their actions. This is very bad for the animals. You can take care of plants and animals that live in freshwater ponds near you. Use less water. Don't pollute by putting harmful liquids in the drains. It means don't put like cleaning stuff. Don't pour it down the drains. That stuff that goes down the drains go into rivers and ponds and streams and creeks. Use natural fertilizer on your lawns. Well, that's probably up to your parents right now. Don't release pets into ponds. Some people get turtles or frogs for pets and then they don't want them anymore and they release them into ponds. But the pond might not be that kind of turtle or that kind of frog's natural habitat. And so it will kill them and it might hurt the animals that are already living there too. Join a pond cleanup. So if you hear about a group of people who are going to do a cleanup, join them, help out. All right, try this. Life changes at the pond. Go to a pond with an adult. Never ever go to a pond by yourself or anywhere near any kind of water by yourself. Always go with an adult. Look around. List all the life you see. What animals do you see there? What insects do you see there? What plants do you see there? Describe the plants and animals. And visit the pond each season. So that means go in the summer, then go again in the fall, and then the winter, and then the spring, and see how it changes with each season. You can look for the changes and you can write what you see when you're studying the pond. We do have ponds in our area. If you go to Amico Island Park with your parents, there are a couple ponds back there and you can go and look around. It's not far, it's right over in Delran. All right, boys and girls, so let's take a look in the classroom today. Someone expand, there we go. All right, so there's the book that we just read, and here is a video about, it's a virtual field trip at a pond. So this young lady is taking you to a pond and showing you all around the pond. Down here is a game, Eleanor from PBS, and it's a game about pond life and how to draw turtles. Turtles live in ponds. All right, boys and girls, no written work today. I hope you have fun learning about ponds and all the life in ponds. And I'll be back tomorrow to talk more about which animals live in ponds. Have a great day, boys and girls.